What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. Just to finish up the live stream as we played through a bit of the KIZUNA clash upon initial release. This video is just pertaining to the 10-star difficulty, the normal KIZUNA clash. We did go through a little bit of the super boss stuff on stream, however it is getting late right now, so I'm just going to get this video out for you guys tonight, and then when I wake up tomorrow we'll get the super boss video up for you guys. Of course, super boss is not as much of a rush, because you can just hoard your super boss coins and do them, whenever you want. But I know that a lot of people want to get their KIZUNA stuff started at least, so they can start hoarding these tickets to, of course, get the stuff for the free-to-play X Drake, as well as the Super Evolution for Arlong Crew. But looking at the teams that we have here, we've got two different teams for each variation. The initial teams you're seeing here for each variation are going to be the ones that I talked about in my preparation video. So we're going to be using the combination of Cracker, as when you get a full board of deck slots, the Kaido captain changes deck slots into Wano. We use Queen to remove the defense, lock our slots, kill that stage comfortably. We have end of turn damage with Kaido to get around that resilience, and then we have a bunch of specials launched here. We have Orb Boost, Conditional Boost, Increased Damage Taken, Chain Boundary, Attack Boost, Chain Boost, Jack Special for his Affinity Boost as well. Just bunch of damage here with this squad, doing a ton here, but of course not the most optimal team to get through it, of course, and you ideally want to build around using the friend captain Toby Roppo, but still a solid team. Moving on to our secondary team here is going to be using the Hawkins I actually got from my discounted multi on the KIZUNA Clash Sugo Fest, but we're going to be using double Blackbeard. Now, after the initial round that I'm showing you here, I did actually end up changing my team, so I actually was able to fit the Toby Roppo as a friend captain, and what I opted to do is actually take out Kaido for just a character that removed defense, as well as enabled us to get a lot of damage on stage 2. So I think I went with the Strength Recruit Akainu. He removes defense, gives us a burn conditional, inflicts burn on the enemy, just due to the fact that I wanted to use the friend captain Toby Roppo, and by doing that we're taking out Blackbeard, which means that we can't use one of those EX supers or the super class special to remove the increased defense on stage 2, so we needed to find a different character to provide that for the crew, so opted to go with the Akainu instead of Kaido instead, getting around all the gimmicks and allowing us to get additional super boss coins and tickets upon clearing the quest. But of course, we just use our special here of Bullet to get around the enemy's resilience. And then we have the super class, as I mentioned, of Blackbeard to get around the increased defense of the opponent, changing that out for the Akainu for damage on that stage there. And then of course on the final stage, we're able to just launch all of our specials, get a bunch of damage, and works pretty well. Lots of damage, of course, but not as efficient because this one is not using Toby Roppo. Definitely building around that is going to be the best way forward. So now we get the opportunity to have a look at the second boss versus Strength. This is the exact same team that I talked about in my preparation video. So by using Shanks' crew as the captain, when we use their special to get a chain lock, it does extend the duration of that by 1 turn. even though the enemy does have Intimidate to remove chain locks by 1, the captain effect does cancel that out, meaning that it's still going to be 3 turns of chain lock, and it is very useful because the enemy does give you chain attack down for multiple turns on stage 2, so having a way to get multiple turns of a chain lock, chain boundary, etc., chain boost even, is going to be pretty important for you to do enough damage. We are opting to use Carrot on the team as well, but I believe I didn't actually know that the enemy removed the damage nullification by themselves on the final stage if you use a damage dealing special. However, just by doing this, it means that we don't have to remove the damage threshold of Frankie here on stage 2, which is why we're using Carrot as our friend captain. Probably, as I said, you know, not the most optimal way to get through the content, but I wanted to build a bunch of random teams that with some characters that people may have. So this is why I opted to use Carrot and Shank's crew in this kind of way. And on this stage, we're going to be using Carrot for an all boost. We have Okiku for color affinity, but kind of overlook the fact that when you actually do damage to the opponent, not only do they remove the damage nullification, however, they will also inflict pain debuff to your side of the field. So any special or any action you perform is like a 49,000 hit to your crew. That's obviously going to be pretty bad. That's a lot of damage that you'll have to tank. So you don't want to use too many specials after you've inflicted a damage dealing special to the opponent. You're going to be very, very careful about that. Moving on to our secondary team here, and this team did go over a little bit of overhaul after this clip was recorded, as I was able to actually squeeze in Toby Ropo as a friend captain for this team as well. I believe I did end up taking out the Kaido on this team for something else. I can't remember exactly what it was off the top of my head. If you guys want to see a rundown of my teams with Toby Ropo as the friend captain, definitely let me know, and I'll show them maybe in a shorts or something like that, as I know some people are probably going to be interested in that kind of thing. But with this squad here, we are able to abuse 3 specials of cross guild on stage 2 and 3 specials on stage 3 to give us basically just the best possible case scenario of using cross guild. We use both of the EX supers here on stage 2 so that we can get that buggy special ready, because we actually want to conserve the Mr. 3 and the Alvita special for stage 3 because of the beneficial effects that they provide. Most importantly being the slot change. Yes, you could have just used Mr. 3 and Alvita on stage 2 and carry the buffs in. However, we do need that slot change, kind of important for us to change those badly matching slots, which is why we actually structured the team in such a way. But one thing you have to take note of is that pain debuff, because of course the second special launch of Buggy will inflict 1 million fixed damage to the opponent, which will trigger the pain debuff on your crew. So you're just going to be very, very cautious about your special activations against the strength variation. And now we're going through the most annoying of these bosses on 10-star difficulty versus the Int variation. So this is the first squad that I talked about in my preparation video, where instead of Kobe, I had a blank spot that you could kind of put anything there. However, we've kind of realized the most optimal way to get through this stage. So the thing is that the enemy on stage 3 is going to make all type slots, Rainbow, G, Wano, Tandem, all of your slots will be counted as badly matching, basically. They get 0.5 times multiplier. However, they don't do that to Sembler slots, and they don't do it to empty slots. So ideally what you do is you actually use Blackbeard special, the new Blackbeard, on this stage here versus Brook. If you have a full board of Psy or Int, then your special of Blackbeard will make empty slots count as like 2.25 multiplier for 3 turns, and if you do that, when you enter stage 3, the enemy cannot inflict you with that debuff of making all of those slots count as like really bad multiplier. So that is the best way to get through it here. You do see that with this team though, we are kind of just tanking it just to see how much damage we can do, even though the slots are not really as ideal as they really should be. But this is where we're fully abusing the Gear 5. Gear 5 is so good for this, even though, you know, Blackbeard's special is really good here. Gear 5 himself as a captain is so good for the revival mechanics, and being able to bypass defensive effects on stage 2 is absolutely clutch. And now we get to have a look at the next team of the video, the last team of the video, which was like the first team I came up with for versus the psi variation, the int variation, whatever it is. This team is not really that good. You know, definitely what I would suggest is to run basically a mono psi team and then have Blackbeard on the team as well. If you can somehow build a team around that by using Blackbeard on stage 2, that's going to make things a lot easier for you for sure. So whether you go with the double Gear 5 route, have 3 characters for EX Super that are psi characters, and then have Blackbeard as a sub, or ultimately using Blackbeard as a friend captain, and then using like a full psi not free spirit, but a psi driven powerhouse squad. That's also something that you could go with in order to get through this content way easier. If you do use Blackbeard as a friend captain, you obviously can just get around the damage nullification, the rainbow shield on stage 2 very comfortably. EX Super of Luffy, of course, with the Gear 5 mechanic will also work. But anyways, that's going to wrap it up from me. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.